things up there.
Good.
Would you like to give them the bird's eye view?
You look like you are 100% not enjoying this job.
Hold that.
Hi.
Hi.
Primed all the trim boards for the exterior, new exterior trim boards in some places. The ones that were previously rotted, we're going to be replacing. Some of them are able to be saved. Some of these were the old original crown on the outside of the house, so we were able to scrape these and prime them. That has a little dirt on it, so we're going to get that primed. And Ezra is cutting some wood. Let's watch him cut wood.
That's boring.
No,
Yeah.
you got it. Careful of those fingers.
What?
Careful of your fingers.
Oh, I thought you said cut off your fingers.
No,
I'm
no.
like, what?
No, Nice job. That's great. Just got blown by the wind. Water everywhere. Major splattering going on here. Major splattering.
Not good. That ain't gonna change.
So this primer, we are not sponsored by this company, but this primer is the Kills 2. It's an interior, exterior, multi-surface sealer, stain blocker, all things. So that's what we're covering all the exterior wood with. Prior to painting, which we're still a couple months out from painting, but we are doing the fixes necessary on the outside of the house to the trim and the areas that have needed some attention. We're doing that now. The weather's really cooperated lately, so we're getting after it. We have a little downtime on the inside of the house, so to keep the project going, we gotta work on the outside while we can. So we were just realizing on the calendar, we've been so busy focused on the job that we didn't realize we've been out here 5 months already. I don't know where 5 months went, but we have been busy, that much is true. So it has flown by. We still have a lot of work to do, but yes, believe it or not, 5 months has flown by since we started this adventure down here in Southwest Texas. So that lovely blue trash in the middle there, but it is what it is. There's just a lot of details to contend with, and on top of that, there is a little, I don't want to say that there's no stores out here where we are. There are a couple very small stores that have limited supplies, and of course when we buy something for material wise for this house, we're buying quite a bit of it just because of the sheer square footage. But there is a small locally owned lumber store out in this small town that we're in, and we've tried to partner with them as much as possible. We are, as a family, very pro small business, since we are also a small business, and we do try to shop there as much as we can, try to keep the economy of this small town moving forward, especially in these dicey times we live in. And there is also a small grocery store out here, and again, when it comes to buying large quantities of food for our growing family, you know, it's not the most cost effective for us to shop large quantities out here, but we do try to support the little local grocery store when we can. I'm usually there probably once a week just for some produce and just odds and ends of things we need for meals. But the nearest larger box stores are at least an hour away. So obviously going there too often, we try to minimize our trips to maybe like a once a week type of journey up to the bigger city. Anyway, so those are some of our living life day to day in sort of a remote situation here. Yeah, there's pros and cons, right, to everything in life. There's definitely a lot of beauty out here. It's worth the sacrifice. It's been good for our family and for our teenage boys. I think they've got a new perspective on some things and have been able to continue growing in some job skills and understanding of business and the important aspects, you know, of a good work ethic and such. So we're definitely thankful for the opportunity, and but yeah, it is a sacrifice. Definitely a sacrifice. So here's another angle of the house. I don't know that I've really recorded much from back here. And today we had this new propane tank delivered. We'd been on their schedule for the last month, but due to weather conditions and some other things, it's taken quite a while for them to get it delivered. So today we got this delivered. It's very exciting. Never thought I'd be so excited for a propane tank. But it always feels like the job is continuing to move forward. You know, when each one of these little details, I say little, but if you know anything about construction or whole house remodel, it's all about the little details. So, I mean, with the propane tank, we're able to get the new heating system in the house hooked up. She's going to run the new heating system off of propane. There is a lot of natural gas in this part of Southwest Texas, and this ranch certainly has a lot of piping and structures that they are a supplier of natural gas, but she had made the determination to switch over to propane. So we've been waiting on the tank, and the new heating system can now be hooked up to the new propane tank, which they also filled today when they dropped it off. So it's always exciting. It feels like the job is continuing to move forward. We've been waiting for heat because being able to get the drywall mud done, there needs to be a certain minimum temperature in the house. We've had some pretty cold nights, down into the 20s and even into the teens, which makes the inside of the house just way too cold for doing drywall mudding properly. It can either crack or fall off the wall completely. So obviously we didn't want to take that chance because we have miles and miles of seams and screw holes and all of those details to get mudded. So anyway, we've been waiting for heat. Thankfully the weather's also changed a bit. It's the end of January, but yet the days are still, getting decent again, up in the mid to high 60s. Last night only got down into the 50s at night. I don't think that's normal for January, but I don't think it's supposed to get into the 20s again. So that we're thankful for that, because that's pretty cold in an RV. Plus it makes it hard to get stuff done around the house since there's no heat in there. Yeah, it's kind of miserable working conditions in there. But thankfully, we're moving forward now with the propane tank delivery. And now the plumbers will be the ones to come back and hook up the propane tank to the house and test it, pressure test it, and all that's required there. So anyway, hopefully that can be done relatively soon. And another detail to go along with that is the blown-in insulation, the foaming insulation. That's going to be blown in the house up in the attic area, just as another cost-effective way of helping the house to maintain a little better energy efficiency. So that blown-in insulation, we just finally found a contractor who wants to come out here, who's willing to work with us. So hopefully we'll be able to get them out before too long. And between that, the heat getting hooked up and the blown-in insulation done, we should be well on our way to getting that drywall mud completed and then getting the walls ready for paint and moving on toward the finished work. And from there on out, it's just all details. So